Hey guys, it's Valerie again. I know I haven't updated in a few weeks. It's been kind of crazy, but I've been needing to do my labor and delivery video. And here's Juliet. She's enjoying her bouncy seat. She was born on August 6th at 12:20 a.m. So the reason why I haven't really done my labor and delivery video was because one, I've been busy and I've had parents in and out of town. Uh-oh. Here you go. Make you happy? Yes. Okay. I'll have to hold that at the same time. Okay. But also, I wasn't really ready to talk about it yet. My experience was not that great. It was the total opposite of everything that I wanted in my birth plan. As you know, I wanted to do an all-natural birth, no medication whatsoever, no real medical intervention. So this is what happened. On Sunday, early morning, I started having some really bad contractions. And so I got my husband up and we decided to drive down to the hospital, which is a little over an hour drive. What's wrong? Well, halfway there, my contractions completely stopped. So we decided to go to the beach. And so we walked around the beach. I went to beach doors like until noon. And my contractions were on and off. I'd have some really strong ones, and then they'd pretty much taper off. So I had no idea if it was just Braxton Hicks or something I should genuinely be concerned about. So then we're going to meet some friends later that night to go for like a cookout on the lake. So we went home for a while, and my contractions really picked up. They were about 3 minutes apart and lasting about a minute. They were really intense, but my husband still wanted to go with our friends, so we packed up the car and we met them there. And pretty much right when he started grilling out, my contractions were 2 minutes apart, and I'm like, we really need to go to the hospital. And the reason why he didn't really believe me was because a few days before I've kind of had the same thing that would happen for a few hours, and then they would go away. But this was the longest they had lasted, pretty much all day long. What's wrong? She's not entertained by this video. Here. Here. Okay. Where was I? Okay, so we started heading to the hospital, and it's a good thing we went because by the time we got there, they said I was at 5 centimeters. So they admitted me and moved me to my room, and my best friend was there as well. And I was just kind of sitting on the bed, kind of handling each contraction and breathing through it. And they were pretty painful. But I was kind of trying to distract myself. They were watching TV and stuff. But the nurse came in and put the monitor on my belly to monitor my baby's heart rate. And for whatever reason, it really wasn't picking up her heart rate very well. And so they kept coming in every few minutes trying to move the monitor and have me hold it while I'm having these contractions, which was really uncomfortable. And they still weren't happy. So the doctor came in and said, well, let me check you. And I was at 8 centimeters. And so she asked if she could break my water because she thought it would speed things up and we'd have a baby like within the next hour or so. And apparently this has been 3 hours already. So I said, okay. And she broke my water, which really wasn't that bad. It wasn't painful. It honestly just felt like a release of pressure. But right after that, I felt like a fire, like burning sensation, and my contractions were like on top of each other. And I kind of lost my cool. I started just screaming and totally not tolerating the whole thing. And very much doubting myself for my natural birth. So, during all this, they said that the monitor, the baby monitor, her heart rate dropped in the 80s, and they are concerned, and it kept doing that. And so they thought maybe it's the monitor, so they tried to put an internal monitor on me, and that was excruciatingly painful, and it wasn't working. So I'm having these contractions, and they're trying to get me in different positions and stuff to get her heart rate, and nothing's working. So, there you go. Her heart rate dipped again in the 80s, and they said we need to have emergency C-section. So when they did that, they put me on my hands and knees, and they were wheeling me on the gurney thing all the way down to the OR, and it was horrible. As soon as they got there, everybody was running around, screaming, and someone shoved a catheter in me, and I was yelling and kicking, and it was awful. And they put me out, and the next thing I knew, I was waking up in a recovery room, and it had already been like over an hour since my baby was born. And my husband brought her in, but after my C-section, I was really groggy and just really weak, and I really couldn't hold her or anything. I was just kind of laying there. The most I could do was touch her with my finger, and I was really tired. I was crying. I was really upset. They got me back to my room. For whatever reason, I wanted everything dark, so we turned all the lights off. And I kept asking for my baby, but they wouldn't bring her to me. Apparently, even though we had the C-section, her heart rate problem didn't have to do with labor at all. It was another issue altogether. So she was down in the NICU, and I really didn't get to see her till the day after. And so that was really sad, and we didn't get to have the skin-to-skin or try to breastfeed like I wanted to. So I was really disappointed, and the C-section was excruciatingly painful. I really couldn't move or anything, and they give you a little morphine pump, which helps, but it was still really hard to get out of bed. And also, when they finally did get me out of bed, I stood up, and this may be TMI, so I'm sorry, but there's a lot of blood, and I hemorrhaged. So I had to have 2 blood transfusions, and they still wouldn't let me see her because apparently I wasn't strong enough or whatever. So that was fun. So all in all, I got released on Thursday, and I gave birth on Monday. So I was there for a few days. And I really didn't get to see her that much because their NICU is on the bottom floor and I was on the top floor, and they didn't think that I was strong enough to go all the way down there to see her. So my husband slept in the NICU room with her, and yes, he did. And I was in my room, and so finally I got released, and I stayed in the NICU room as well for the last few days. They finally got her heart rate stable. She has a small hole in her heart that they're gonna watch. Here, you want that back? Also, she was jaundiced, so she had to be under these special lamps, and also she had a hard time maintaining her body temperature, so she had to be wrapped up all the time and under your heat lamps. So they finally discharged her within a week, and she was ready to go. When she was born, she was 6 pounds 4 ounces, which is pretty good, and so she had gained a few ounces. And since then, she's been really good, doing really well. Hasn't had any more problems, no. And she's already gained some weight, and she loves her swing. She wanted to sleep with us, so that was the only time she was happy. So now we figured out the swing is a great invention. Yes. And she is breastfed, but since she was in the NICU, I couldn't breastfeed her, so they bottle fed her, and I pumped for them. And since then, she hasn't been a fan of breastfeeding, so I just pump for her. But she's doing well. Yes. You're very talkative. And wiggly. She probably wants to play. So that's about it. I don't know. I can't think of anything else right now. But I'll be making some more videos later, hopefully when she's sleeping, for baby tips and such that I've learned in the past few weeks. But basically, that's my birth story. And feel free to comment any questions you have. I'd be happy to answer them. So thanks for watching.